Hi, I'm Jodi-Anne, a wellbeing educator and healing facilitator. I've channeled over 100 answers to questions about life. These have been recorded through automatic writing, answering a broad range of questions about life and how it works, and how we can be peaceful and happy. Today's topic is part 3 of how to heal after childhood sexual abuse. Join me as we explore this topic and go deep within to heal and find peace. In the first video on this topic, we talked about the impacts of abuse and mentioned some tools for healing. In the second video, we focused on the impact on our sexuality and our ability to interact lovingly with others. In this third video, we're going to focus on the pain and releasing it from the cells of our body. So when great trauma occurs, it's often too intense for the person to cope with, and therefore they find a way to escape it. It may be by pushing the pain down in their body, swallowing it, holding it deep inside and locked into the cells and muscles. Others push it out. They try to escape it by pushing it away, pretending it didn't happen, not wanting it to touch them ever again. This keeps it in the person's energy bodies, and it does still affect them and touch them, just energetically. It's like the black cloud walking along behind or above them. Either way, the pain and the trauma stays with you. You can tell the trauma is still there by the bodily reactions when someone comes close to you. If someone comes in close, do you react in fear? Does your breath stop or become shallow? Do you flinch? Do your muscles tighten? Do you try to shrink and become smaller to avoid their touch? Or do you become angry and resentful? Or do you puff up trying to become bigger to warn off the person and protect yourself? Clearly, any of these reactions show that the body is not relaxed and at ease. It's not feeling safe and it's not trusting other people. It shows the body is still locked into the trauma and in a state of fear, not love, peace, or joy. It can be. You just have to release the trauma out of your body. The trauma is stored within the cells and muscles. That's why we get tight, tense muscles. They're literally frozen, tensed up in fear, ready to react and defend ourselves, to run away, or to freeze and be still, hoping that we can be hidden and not seen. It's exhausting for the body to be so tense and to be on hyper alert. And this tension and the trauma underneath it can be released out of the body so that your body relaxes and that your mind doesn't feel a need to be so defensive. Relaxing the body results in the mind softening and your defenses melting. We literally thaw out the frozen parcels of trauma that have been stored within the body so they can melt away. One way to do this is through tremoring. Your body has an inbuilt shaking mechanism to help shift out the trauma and tension from your body. All mammals have it. The shaking uses up the adrenaline and cortisol, the fight or flight chemicals that were created in the life-threatening moment. If you couldn't run away or fight back at the time, then these chemicals didn't get used up. They stay in the body, resulting in tension and clenched muscles. Your body was primed, ready to fight or run, but it didn't get to. And afterwards, the body doesn't relax fully. It still feels on edge, nervous, anxious, because those chemicals weren't discharged. The trauma activation never got released. Later, when we get triggered and our body startles easily, feels on edge, even if there's no real danger, it's because of these unfinished trauma activations. You can use tension and trauma release exercises, TRE, to help the body complete these activations. It uses up the fight or flight chemicals through shaking, resulting in the body finally being able to relax, to know the war is over and that you survived and you're okay. It's a very simple process, and it is Once you get it activated, it's an unconscious process in that your body moves itself. It's not you consciously moving your legs or your arms so that they shake. The body does the process and shakes and releases the energy. If you've got a trauma history, it is good to learn it with a practitioner for a few sessions just to make sure that you can use it safely and you know the signs to watch for that your body gives you as to when to rest and let it integrate the shifts and the changes. You don't want to push too hard or too fast and let too much out at once. If we use the analogy of a pressure cooker, or a can of soda that has been shaken up, you don't want to let the steam out all at once. You just want to let little bits of that pressure out. So you just want to let it out slowly and gently so that your body can adjust to and integrate the changes and relax and calm back down. But once you have learnt it and you can self-regulate correctly, then you can use it forever, for free, at home, whenever you want, to release stress, tension, and trauma. If you'd like to learn more about TRE, you can visit my website. There's also a TRE Global website and a TRE Australia website. There are plenty of videos that you can watch. I am one of the practitioners that can teach people TRE, so that can be done in person or online. It's well worth doing so that your body can finally relax. There are other methods that can be used to do a similar thing, such as somatic experiencing, EMDR, anything that is designed to help the nervous system and your body to calm down. TRE is just the process that I've been using and that I'm most familiar with. Another important process for helping the body to relax and to complete the trauma stored within it is inner child recovery work. So when you get triggered or scared, it's not you now, the adult you, that is completely terrified. It's actually a younger part of you that is triggered and scared. By becoming conscious of your bodily reactions, it enables you to start self-soothing. You can tell yourself that you're safe, that it's okay, that you're not in danger. You can self-soothe by holding your own hand, so to speak, or lovingly stroking your arm or your hair. And this helps calm the body down to know that it is held and cared for. When we go through a traumatic experience, if there was someone there to soothe us afterwards, to hold us and to help us calm down, then it doesn't have as big an impact on us and a long-term consequence on us because we've calmed down, we've been soothed. It's when we're isolated, alone, we're not believed, we're not heard, we're discounted, etc., that the trauma is so big and that it continues to affect us. And so we can learn to actually soothe and calm and support ourselves. When I've been having an emotional release, I've literally stroked my own hair at times. And it feels like a safe adult is brushing the hair of a vulnerable child. And this act of self-kindness leads to a softening of the emotion and a relaxation back to peace. You can also imagine that you have loved ones around you, holding you, whether that be ancestors that have crossed over. If you believe in angels and guides, you can ask for them to be with you, to hold you, to soothe you. You can ask for that support. And with that, some people, don't believe in those things. Absolutely, perfectly fine. What I like to just explain to people is that the mind does not know the difference between real and imagined. And so if you have a nightmare, you wake up with your heart beating, your breath racing, etc., sweat, because your body has reacted as if you really were in that situation that you had dreamed about. It wasn't real, but your body acts as if it is. It doesn't know the difference. The same with visualization. You can visualize yourself being supported, being cared for, being held, and your body will react as if that's truly occurring because it doesn't know the difference between real and imagined. So even if you don't believe that there is, angels or guides or your ancestors able to come and support you, imagining it can have an impact and help your body to soften and to calm. So basically, we want to become the protective, loving parent of the scared child within us. There's literally a scared child inside you, and an angry one, and a mad, bad, stomp on all the bad guys one who just wants to punish those that hurt people, that can have righteous indignation. These are the parts of you from the time that you were that age and experienced those things. So inside us is the younger you from all of the times that we've been born. So depending on your age, there's the toddler you, there's the teenage you, there's the young adult you, there's a you from all the years that you've been around, and everything that you've gone through, those memories and those experiences are still available inside you. And if they were not resolved, if there was trauma associated with them and they were not resolved, they can still be affecting you. You can easily access these inner children by closing your eyes and asking to see them. At first, they might be hiding from you, and you might just sense a closed door or a room of furniture with the inner child hiding behind the sofa and just peeking out at you. Indeed, when I first started doing some visualizations with inner child work, my inner child was there holding a knife, ready to defend herself, absolutely terrified of anyone coming close, and hiding literally on a sofa with the knife, ready to attack. Devastating. So it took a lot of giving her love, giving her support to help her to feel that she was safe enough to put the knife down and to come and receive a hug and to come into my heart. So you need to win their trust, to have them feel that you are safe and that you'll be there for them, and that they can tell you how they feel and what they need, and you're going to give that to them. You're not going to reject them, abandon them, and leave them alone like others may have. In time, as you imagine sitting and talking with them, they'll start to trust you and come closer. They'll start to share their deepest secrets about what hurt them the most. If you listen to them and reassure them and give them love, tell them that they're not at fault, then they're going to start to feel better. It was not their fault if someone older sexually abused them or interfered with them. Many inner children may be confused. They may have allowed the physical contact to occur because the perpetrator was being nice to them, showing them love and tenderness when others weren't. When it's a parent, step-parent, uncle, grandpa, or family friend involved, and of course it can be the auntie or the grandma too, it's less common, but it does happen. It is extra confusing to the child, as that person was known to them and was a safe space, but then all of a sudden wasn't. So the child may not have thought what occurred was wrong. They may have thought it was a game at the time, or that it felt pleasurable and, it was nice, depending on the scenario and the situation. Of course, sometimes it can be violent, and there's nothing nice about that at all. So the inner child can be confused. They may have thought that it was okay. The perpetrator was telling them that it was, only to find out later that it was labeled as bad or sinful. There are lots of different scenarios. The point is, your inner child is likely to feel confused, and until that is cleared up, they're not going to feel comfortable trusting anyone else who enters your life. They'll always be cautious and on guard, wondering if this new, supposedly safe person is going to one day hurt them like the family member or other person did. Therefore, your inner child doesn't relax. They keep their guard up and they stay alert for danger. In this way, they refuse to let love in. Even if the other person is genuinely authentic in their caring for the person who's suffered abuse, it's difficult for the abused person to accept it, believe it, or reciprocate it. This, of course, has detrimental effects on relationships and prevents true intimacy and the feeling of being loved for who you are. Without love coming in from within, giving it to ourselves, or from without, letting love in from others, our cup can become empty and we can fall into despair, depression, and feel worthless, unloved, unwanted, and we can think the world is a horrible place. Yet the love and light is there. There might be good people all around us, but we have to learn to let the love in. And to do so, we need to allow ourselves to feel vulnerable, to take the risk to love and to receive love and to surrender to life and the process of awakening. While the inner child is still confused, scared, angry, or ashamed, this process is blocked or minimized, and it can be often to the point of almost complete annihilation. If you have really, really strong defense mechanisms like I did, I was so judgmental of anyone that tried to show me kindness or love in the early days. Very judgmental, pushed people away, was rude, harsh, not that nice at all. Certainly wouldn't behave that way nowadays. And I did upset some of my family members because of the judgment that I had towards anyone that was drinking, gambling, or behaving in what I deemed an irresponsible manner. Um, Everyone's got a right to live their life how they want. That was just my defense mechanism. It was my way of trying to feel safe and to try and push away any more hurt or to not let there be any more risk of danger, disappointment, or further abuse. Uh, so when your defenses are that strong, anyone that dares to show you love or acceptance can actually be seen as a threat, a bad person, or foolish. Because if you don't, often if you're in that state, you probably don't like yourself very much. There can be a lot of self-loathing, self-hate, self-judgment. And so you feel like, why should someone want to give you kindness? No one else did. Why do they want to? And so you don't trust them. And you may even think that if they truly knew you, they wouldn't love you. And so if they are wanting to show you some kindness, then they mustn't be very wise or smart or worth much. And so you use all that kind of defensive thinking as a reason, as evidence to judge them and push them away because it feels too dangerous and threatening to let anyone in. To stop such patterns, you need to heal your heart. And part of that is talking to your inner child and sending it love. Anytime that you feel scared, know that it's your inner child asking you for reassurance, wanting to know that you're aware of its concern and that you're taking care of the situation, that you're going to keep them safe, and that it's okay for them to go play or to have a nap. They just want to know that you're in charge, you're taking care of them, they're safe. They may want to stay with you, and I visually sense. I'm empathic and clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient. At times, it's not there all the time, but I will often be able to literally sense where my inner child is. And for a while, it was like hiding like a toddler does behind my legs, peeking out whenever it felt I was in a dangerous situation. And it was just watching, wanting to make sure that I did handle the situation and looked after myself. In time, once they see that you can handle it and you do keep them safe, then they'll relax and go play. And they'll once again become the joyful, innocent child that they originally were. And when that happens, it frees you as the adult to also have that innocence and joy of life. So your body relaxes so much so that when someone approaches you, you don't react with fear or hesitation. You can welcome the person and interact joyfully, peacefully, and lightheartedly. It does take a lot of time and effort to reach this stage, but it's worth it. It takes becoming conscious of your patterning and comforting yourself, your inner child, and becoming the good parent to it and guardian of it. And as I've said, then it relaxes. And then the pleasure's amazing. You can be taken back to, the times of awe and wonder that you may have experienced moments of as a young child in the garden, watching the flowers or the bugs or, any animals that are around. You can stare at the leaves moving in the tree and feel transported into a magical place. You can see the beauty and the love that is actually there all around you, and you can let it in. So you can, as you heal, let yourself receive the love and goodness. And the universe is there waiting to pour it into us. It's like it's always been there. It's always been doing it. But our defenses have stopped us from receiving it. Our mistrust stops us from receiving the goodness that is there all around. So with those defenses melted away, we can finally accept the goodness and allow ourselves to have a happy life with friends, love, and peace. It is wonderful to do so, and I hope that you reach that place as quickly and as easily as possible. This has been part 3 of the videos on healing from childhood sexual abuse. There is a part 1 and a part 2 that covers other aspects related to healing from this situation. Thank you for watching this short video, part 3 on healing from childhood sexual abuse. I hope you've found it interesting and insightful. It's my aim to empower people with the skills and knowledge to walk their healing journeys as gently and as peacefully as possible. There are over 100 of these answers to questions about life available for free on the Life Insights page of my website. Please visit to learn more about the healing journey and ways to live peacefully and happily. Have a great day. Please look after yourself and reach out to your mental health practitioner, your medical doctor if you need to, if you are struggling with this topic and these issues. You can use the tools and techniques that I've discussed and recommended, but if you are struggling, please reach out and get the help that you need. There's a lot of people out there, a lot of government programs, a lot of private practitioners, a lot of support groups, a lot of books, etc. There's so much help available to you when you're ready to reach out and to let it in. Many blessings. Bye.